Hey guys, welcome to the vlog. So today, quick update on all the channels. Videos starting up again next week because the U.S. Open is well, not finally over. I kind of disappointed that it was over, and it's taken me a while to recover from the Roger Federer loss, which killed me. Um, damn it! You don't get it. These four U.S. The U.S. Open, Wimbledon, Roland Garros, or the French Open is sometimes called, and the Australian Open. Those are like my Super Bowls. So, and then I got one more Super Bowl coming up, the World Tour Finals, in November. But yeah, so it killed me. My guy didn't win. So the what was? Oh yeah. So Chris over at La Gloria 7, that's your channel name, I believe. Ask me actually a good question. What size cigar do I like, and what cigars do I? What are some of my favorite cigars? Um, so I know that I used to smoke the big, 7 by, I used to smoke the big, huge, whopping ring gauges. I think I smoked up, to a 70 ring gauge. The Gurkha Sinister. I was gonna try the 80, like Asylum. I think they came out with an 80 ring gauge cigar. Uh, but I haven't worked up the nerve to put my jaw muscles through that. But here's a quick reason why I actually don't smoke them anymore. Because uh, some of you who smoke them have noticed, they don't burn that great. And the reason is because there's some tobacco, and this was explained to me by Cigar Obsession. So if you want to actually know more, go to him, because he knows a lot more than I do. Because he's been smoking for many more years than I have. So he typically. Now the only reason why I have to touch up mine is because I have not been taking enough draws on it to keep it kind of burning evenly. Because sometimes parts start to go out because when your cigar goes out, it rarely goes out evenly. So when your cigar starts to go out, certain sides will go out first. So, but that's just how things work. Um, so yeah, you do have to sometimes take enough drawers per whatever length of time you want to. So you have to sometimes take enough draws over a certain period of time to keep it burning evenly. But also, there's how cigars are made. There's the wrapper, the binder and filler, but mixed in with the filler, well, part of the filler is not flavors. There's the tobacco that you get flavor out of. But all tobacco is different. Some tobacco burns really well and really fast, whereas some does burns like shit. But sometimes the ones that burn like shit have the greatest, the best flavors, and sometimes the ones that burn the fastest really taste like air. So, or just smoke, or just burn tobacco. So, or just tobacco flavors. So, what blenders will do is they'll blend in the the stuff that's going to provide the flavor, but if it burns like really badly, so they have to add basically helper tobacco in there to help it stay burning or help it burn quicker. So as you go up in ring gauge size, the harder it is to maintain that ratio, but also because when you're taking a drawer, you draw it in, obviously, in that the airflow heats up the cherry. Like so. Now, that because the airflow is moving over a larger a smaller area, basically, I can move the air. Sorry, everything's kind of going all over the place right now. Mostly because I got a mustache hair going up my nose. That also happened to me at the dentist, and I had to spend an hour with a mustache hair going up my nose. Don't do it. It's not fun. And I'm like, I got an itch. Really bad. Oh. Okay, back on topic. So basically, I can draw in as much smoke, or, you got to, however big your mouth is. I got a big mouth. Because I talk a lot. You can draw in that much volume of air through the cigar. And that volume of air is concentrated in this little area, so that's going to heat up the cherry to a certain extent. But also, as you get bigger, you have more of an area to draw it over, so it's not going to heat each and individual part up evenly. Most of it's going to be concentrated in the middle, because most of the airflow is going to be, the more concentrated the airflow, the more focused it is. Because basically, let's assume that you're just drawing in line with the cigar, and it's kind of not cone shape, but most of the air gets drawn straight through the middle of the cigar. That's why typically basically trying to best explain the physics. This is going to be a long vlog. But this is to answer some of these questions, and if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. I'm be more than happy to just talk about them than to ramble on about shit that I've done, because really my life is actually not that interesting. And actually this is a lot more fun. I love physics. So the more it gets, the bigger you get, the airflow is most of it's going through the middle, so it's going to most likely heat up more of the middle. And as you get further and further out, less air is coming from that part. Does that make sense? So most of the air is drawn straight, because you're drawing from the middle of the cigar. Actually, no, that would just apply to torpedoes. If they're the same end, if it's the same size on both ends, then actually this wouldn't be a problem. Sorry, I'm being stupid. I'm only operating on like 3 hours of sleep. So, scratch that. So what is... Sorry, I'm actually just thinking about this now, so I'm kind of thinking of the physics behind it now, so I'm thinking and I'm talking to myself, but I'm also vlogging. So it's like, I'm going to be wrong and you're going to hear me backtrack. So I was wrong. I might be wrong about that. So it's probably going to apply just to torpedoes, where most of it's going to be drawn through the middle, because it is a kind of tapered tip. So, and the tip's really at the middle, so you're drawing from the middle, and it's kind of a cone shape, so its percentage goes up. So like majority's at the middle, and then it fans out percentage-wise. Less air, less smoke comes from the outside edges than the inside. But if you stay, thin ring gauge torpedo, it probably should be fine. No, let's scratch that, because that probably actually wouldn't have that big of an effect. It would have an effect. It wouldn't have an effect on even a big torpedo, because the effect that I'm thinking of, the effect would be there, but I don't think it would be as big of a deal, as I originally thought. So scratch that. But what actually is happening, definitely with a big ring gauge cigar, is even though so you got this certain volume of air that you can bring into your mouth. Sorry that this is going to be boring, so skip ahead to some part. The Gloria 7, this is for you. This, Chris, this is for you. So it's going to go through that certain volume of air into your, that you're going to bring through the cigar so you can, get the smoke and draw it into your mouth. And that volume of air that you can bring in is how big your mouth is. So, or how big of a intake you can, take. So, but right now I'm bringing all that air through this area, so this is heating up the cherry a good amount. Whereas a bigger ring gauge, it takes less time for me to bring in all that smoke because it's got a bigger straw. That's the best way to kind of think of it, as like a straw to go through. So it's gonna be quicker. So the only problem is that you're not heating up the cherry as much in between burn. On that intake, you're not heating up the cherry a significant amount. So it's easier for it to go out because it's not as hot. Like this will get hotter. The cherry on this cigar will get hotter than a cherry on a bigger ring gauge cigar because more air is going over it, or more air is going over the entire cherry on this one than on, well, not more air, but it's over because it's over a larger area. It's not, more air isn't drawn over it, so therefore it doesn't get as hot, and therefore it cools off easier, and therefore it goes out quicker. So yeah, I'll say that again more concisely. So yeah, bigger ring gauges, because they're larger ring gauges, you take in more air more quickly through them without having to change the speed of your drawer. So if you don't change the speed of the drawer, and it's a bigger area with the same volume of air, then what happens is that it doesn't heat the cherry up as much, and therefore it's easier for it to get, it's going to start off cooler than this one, therefore it's going to go out easier. So that's why you're going to have some parts of a bigger ring gauge cigar go out quicker. There we go. And then on top of the filler, the quick burning filler to the flavor filler ratio, on top of that too, that's why you typically have poor performance out of a bigger ring gauge. Wow, that took me 13 minutes to explain. So I hope that answers your question, or one of them, why you might have trouble with a big ring gauge cigar. So now, what do I smoke? I typically like Churchills, or one of my new favorites to have is my two favorite sizes are Churchills and Lanceros. Churchills are 6.5 to 7 inches and 46 to 48 ring gauge. Lanceros are 7 to 7.5 inches and they're 38 to 40. The reason why I love Lanceros is because it brings out a lot. Now, not a lot of actually flavor comes from the filler. At least that's how it was explained to me. A lot of it comes from the wrapper and the binder. So with a lowered wrapper to binder ratio, there's less filler to kind of muddle in there, because the filler really just muddles down the tobacco a little bit. So there's less filler that's in there, and therefore you get just more pure flavors. So I typically like Lanceros better. There's almost never any construction problems. And Churchills are nice because I like, Churchills typically take a while to smoke. So I do like a long cigar experience. That's kind of my two preferred flavors. I will go down to a Toro because that's actually what I most commonly smoke, because it's kind of hard to find Churchills sometimes. I mean, not hard to find, but typically that's not the Toros are usually the most common size carried. At least that's what I've found. Robustos, I have smoked Robustos. I don't usually go to the store for a Robusto. If I do buy a Robusto, it's because either I've heard rave reviews about it, or or if I've heard rave reviews about the Robusto, or about the about the cigar that is in Robusto, and the only signs they have is Robusto of that cigar. Then I'll buy the Robusto. But if they have it, in a bigger size, like I said, it all has to do with typically some cigar brands. Some cigar brands um, don't really change their flavor profile between sizes. Some do, some don't. Um, so typically, what you're deciding when you're deciding on size is, or at least size in terms of like similar ring gauge sizes. So like Toro, Robusto, and Churchill's are all roughly the same ring gauge. Uh, so that's what you're kind of deciding between is if you're deciding between a Churchill, Robusto, and Toro, you're really mostly just deciding how long do you want the experience. So I typically go with Churchill because I want the longest experience possible. If they only have it in Robusto at the store that I'm going to, then I'll buy it in Robusto. But I'll typically only buy it Robusto if like I have no other option, or it just somehow they make a Robusto that looks really or I fall victim to the packaging. But that's most likely just due to the fact that this is gonna be a long day. It is gonna be a long vlog. Sorry about this, guys. But typically, yeah, I'll only buy a Robusto if that's really my only option. If they have the cigar in different sizes, I will buy it in a larger size. It really has nothing to do with the packaging, and more has to do with the cigar. And in the packaging, like if they only have that cigar in Robusto at the store, I'll buy the Robusto of it. So typically, yeah. Dan, go back to the question. I typically smoke Lanceros, Churchills, or Toros, or occasionally a Torpedo, if it's a long torpedo. If it's a long torpedo, oh my God, I can speak. I swear, I promise. I swear I'm smart. And my cigar went out because I'm an idiot. I'm talking too much. So that answers that question, and then some of my favorites that I've been smoking. This is from the Cigar Obsession Top 10 Sampler, and I really did like some of these. Like I like the Avo XO Mayato my Mayasto. Let's see if I can hold it up and get it to that one. The Avo XO. However that's pronounced. I like that one. That was kind of like just an easy, I mean, the flavors I found were interesting. They were very just like calming. It wasn't like in your face, like so. It was kind of like just a mild, medium body cigar, which I enjoyed. No, I wouldn't. I forget what the flavors were and how strong it was. All I know is what came to mind during it was just kind of like an easy, kind of just relaxing cigar. Just like nothing really in your face. Just kind of one that you can just light up and kind of had like that calming and soothing kind of flavors and tastes, and it's very, very nice. Another one that I really liked is the Blanco 9 and Lancero. If you haven't had one, you're missing out. I know Blanco is kind of a new company. But seriously, Dave Blanco, I know he's a great guy. I haven't met him myself, but um, what he does is pretty freaking amazing. Especially his Blanco 9 line, and the Lancero is my favorite. The New World Governator, that one surprised me. That one I sat there and I was smoking. I remember the New World, so the Avo Exo Toso, whatever that is, however you say it. The Blanco 9 Lancero, I got some great coffee flavors out of that one. Cream, some cocoa, some cream, really nice. The New World Governator. If you want I felt like I was just eating chocolate. Like I sat there and and it was right off the first light too. It's like there's not often many cigars that I light up and I'm just like, holy shit. like right off, I just kind of just was like, I jumped and I'm like, wow, that is good. Oh my god, that is good. I'm like, and apparently it's not infused, so I'm like, when I was smoking, I'm like, bullshit, this is not infused. Like that's how in your face, like the chocolate and the kind of it was like a chocolatey mocha, it was good. It was like eating a chocolate bar. I could have had that all day. I'd smoke that all day and not complain once. So I also like the Olivia V series and Milanio. That was good. The Padron 1964 anniversary. I love. In Imperial, the natural one, not the Maduro. But yeah, the 1964 Imperial. Yeah, the 1964 Imperial. I'll get it. The Padron 1964 anniversary Imperial Natural. Love that. Also like the Rocky Patel 1992. Love that one. I love the some Gurkha ones that I like. I love the Gurkha Ghost. I love the Gurkha Black Dragon. The Gurkha Black Dragon is one of my top three. Or no, top three. I love the Padron 1926 80th anniversary. Love that. I forget whether I had it. I think it's in. But yeah, the 80th anniversary. That's good. I love that one. Forget what I had it in, but I was really good when I did have it. I don't know. Is there two ways it's offered? Let me just Google it. See, I think it was in Maduro that I had it. So, I mean, I like that. I want to try it in the natural. I have a feeling I might like the natural a little bit better. That I had. Let's see. I like the Gurkha Black Dragon. I like the Ashton Ace Maduro 60. Also the Ashton Cabinet. What other ones? Come on, there's a few that I know that I really loved. The Avo Classic, I like. The Avo Classic in Torpedo, I liked. That's one of the few torpedoes I loved. The Gurkha Black Dragon, I like in the special edition. The special edition Tubos. That one I like because it's aged a little bit longer, so it's really nice. You know what? I'll do a list. I'll make a list of all the ones that I like, and I might put it on this channel. Trying to think of what other ones I liked. Got some tobacco on my lip. But that's really it. No, that's is that it? Come on, I'm trying to think. What other ones do I like? I got a Gurkha Grand Reserva or Grand Reserve in my humidor up there. Oh yeah, speaking of shops, Cigar Obsession actually once mentioned like cigar stores that just have like the big humidor kind of just the walk-in humidor, and they have like the humidity device like for like nursing homes or something, or if you need to like humidify a room, just like go in and just huge cloud of moisture as you walk in. I'm like, whoo. Because the ones by like you get to, and the seal on the door is shit. So I'm like saying like the ones at the door are gonna be like wicked dry, and the ones that sit next like the machine's not even in the middle of the room. The machine's on the side by a bunch of cigars. I'm like, oh boy, those are gonna be like humidified up to like 80%. The ones by the door are gonna be like dry as a bone. So I ended up buying them. But I just threw. I mean, if you buy from a brick and mortar, I threw it in my humidor. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna have to wait a few weeks on those, get them back up to a regular acclimation. So that's my funny cigar story. Um, what else do I like? So yeah, those are basically what I like. So I hope that helps. Look, Chris, I hope that helps you. Check him out over at La Gloria 7. I will be linking um, his channel in the description down below. So check him out. So till next time. See ya.